Good day to all. Welcome to Extreme Recap. I'm going to talk about the movie. 2013 saw the release of The Giant Slayer. At the beginning of the film, we see a young boy named Jack who enjoys reading and listening to stories, particularly those about ancient kings. Before she passed away, his mother used to tell him stories about the giants. After that, he continues to read another story, in which he learns that a group of monks once discovered magic beans. They tried to get to the gods with those magical beans. However, they discovered something they had never seen before when they went up there. Gancho was the name of this location, which was home to dangerous giants. These monsters then advanced toward the earth. The Goliaths proceeded to loot and kill the people freely. These giants' brutality began to increase over time, as they began to consume humans as well. We see that the princess's mother is simultaneously reading this tale to her daughter. She seems to be enjoying it and is fascinated by the two-headed giant, the leader of all the other giants. In order to conquer the giants, the monks turned to the dark arts. After that, these monks used their own hearts to make a crown. The powerful crown was also used by the king to return the giants to Gancho. He transforms this location into a giant's prison. Jack is currently with his father. He then asks his devoted father whether these giants will ever return. The boys were informed that the guardians of the king, who are descendants of noble families, would deal with them even if they did descend. While Jack's father lets him know that these monsters probably won't be genuine, Isabel's mom proceeds to tell her that Lord Eric was genuine, adding that she personally is from his bloodline. Because this is the only way Isabel can become a good queen, her mother wants her to learn more about the worlds. Jack's dad continues to read the story after her time comes, and it says that the giants will return to Earth and end King Eric's reign. Jack has now reached adulthood after 10 years. His uncle takes him to the town to buy a horse and tells him not to be distracted by the things there. Jack ends up being distracted while he is in the town by a play in a theater. The tale of King Eric and the giants is then presented by them. Jack is also in the audience, and it's hard for him to look away from a pretty girl there. Additionally, she observes him staring at her. He sees three men trying to force themselves on the girl. The next thing he sees, the girl immediately decides to leave, but the men continue to follow her. She's trailed by the three men once more. Knowing that the girl is in trouble, Jack also makes the decision to intervene. Despite being punched in the face by one of them, Jack still begs them to let the girl go. The three men start pleading with the royal guard to let them go at this point because they don't want to mess with him. Isabel mounts her horse at this point. The three men immediately kneel when they realize it is the princess. Jack also has no idea what's going on when the jackets leave. When he finds out that his cart has been taken, he is shocked. The setting then shifts to the king's castle, where Lord Roderick enters a room with caps on all the relics. He learns of the theft of the magic beans with shock. But the crown of King Eric is still there. He realizes that a monk he let pass a while ago has taken it. After that, Lord Roderick instructs the guards to search for the monk and shut the castle's doors. When the monk discovers that the guards are already looking for him, he is already out. Jack is attempting to sell the horse, and he sees him. He then offers Jack some money in exchange for the horse, but Jack rejects the offer. The monk then provides the magic beans to him. And Jack replies no. The monk warns the boy once more that if he delivers these beans to the king, because these beans are holy relics, the monk warns Jack not to lose them or get them wet before he even says yes to the deal. He will pay a heavy price for that. The monk has already boarded the horse and left as Jack, perplexed by the situation, looks at the beans. The monk is still apprehended by the guards, though. Additionally, Isabel returns to the castle in the interim. Jack returns home and discloses to his uncle that he has exchanged the horse for the beans. But because he doesn't care about the magic beans, his uncle continues to scold him. Then again, the ruler proceeds to reprimand his little girl for running off to watch a performance center show. He warns her that it is extremely risky, adding that she is a future queen and ought to begin acting as such. After that, Isabel gets into a fight with her father because he wants to marry Roderick. Jack's uncle is twice her age. In contrast, throws the beans away out of resentment and tells him to grow up as he is 18 as of now. On the other hand, Isabel's father tells her she should stay in the palace, but she doesn't like taking orders. Meanwhile, Lord Rick and Roderick are torturing the monks. Roderick is informed by the monk that he will never have control over those beans. And then Roderick kills him. When Isabel leaves the palace in the middle of the night, there is a significant storm. In contrast, Jack's uncle is also out in the storm, and he continually expresses concern for him. He decides, after some time has passed, that he will search for his uncle in the storm. However, there is a knock at the door just as he is about to open it. It turns out to be Princess Isabel as well. He immediately invites her inside. During this time, the magic beans are about to become soaked as the water enters Jack's hut. Isabel and Jack converse with one another, both speaking as though they had never met. Jack continues by telling her that he had earlier fought in the market for the princess's honor. As he continues to kneel in front of the queen, Jack finally makes the decision to end the deception. However, she thanks him for defending her earlier in the theater and tells him to stand up. In the interim, when one of the beans gets wet, it grows roots and becomes a huge beanstalk that carries Isabel and the house into the sky, as Jack lands on his back. Jack makes every effort to save the princess, but the height of his house keeps going up. He finally gets the princess, but all he does is grab her mother's necklace as she flies away, causing Jack to collapse and pass out. The following day the king wakes him up, who has been trying to locate his daughter. Jack is asked by the king why he carries his daughter's necklace. Jack is now recognized by the royal guard, who were at the theater, and they tell the king that he is not a bad person. It has decided that Jack and Roderick will attempt to locate the princes. Almond and his second-in-command Kroll led the king's knights, which included Wick, Roderick's attendant, and Jack Roderick. Continue climbing the beanstalk in search of Isabel. While they are climbing, a lightning storm during the night wipes out 5 knights. Additionally, Roderick and Wick deliberately cut the safety rope, resulting in their deaths. Jack is told by Roderick, who is extremely envious, that he shouldn't be doing this to impress the princess, adding that she would never marry a commoner, even if she did not wed him. Like Jack, Roderick continues by telling the others that a rope snapped, resulting in the deaths of those 5 knights. They reach the top of the beanstalk the following morning. There, Jack's house is visible to them, but the princess is not inside. As they move forward, they are now in the giant world looking for the princess. Jack is then instructed by Roderick to hand over the remaining beans. Even though neither the guards nor Roderick are aware of Jack, he continues to carry one, and Crod finds a book that Jack gave to the princess. According to Jack, the princess must have kept it there. After that, they see some marks. Additionally, Jack posits that she must have been dragged up by a very large force. After that, they decide to crawl with Jack Almond and form 2 teams to search for her. And the other, which included a knight and Roderick Wick. They then, at that point, spot a sheep and attempt to get it. As they do that, a monster seems Jack and Elma self-isolate while slithers. Crawl Almond emerges just as the giant is about to eat and stabs him after being noticed. However, the giant only feels the pinch from the stab. He also removes the Elman and the Crawl while Jack watches. The opposite group encounters a waterfall. Roderick is also instructed by the Guardian to wait for him there until he discovers another route. The Guardian is then tricked into getting close to the ledge, and Roderick pushes him to his death before coming face to face with 2 additional giants. Roderick dons the magical crown, and the giant stops eating Wick. In contrast, we continue to see Isabel, who has been held captive by a giant. The giant then inquires about her identity and where she came from. She doesn't say anything to him. She replies that she is alone when he inquires about her companions. They both had a huge. Additionally aware that Isabel is related to King Eric. He then flaunts the princess to the other men in his group. And at this point, the other giants arrive. He is carrying Elmont and Craw. The leader continues to inquire, but Crawl behaves inconsiderately toward the giant leader, resulting in the giant eating the leader. The giant then continues by threatening to kill Isabel if Almond does not answer his questions. Roderick is seen walking as Jack makes it to the massive city. The hall was crowded with giants who wore the magical crown. To him, all of the giants bow. In front of him, even the giant's leader is on his knees. Isabel is shocked to see this, and she is even more shocked when Roderick tells the giants to prepare for an Earth-wide invasion, announcing to them that they will destroy everything on Earth. These orders are absolutely not liked by Fallon, the giant's general. Isabel and Almond, on the other hand, are taken to the kitchen so that the giant cook can chop them up and cook them. Jack approaches the kitchen. Jack, however, manages to stab the giant with a kitchen knife just as the giant pulls the princess out of the cage and is about to chop her up. After that, he gives the knife to Almonds, who eventually manages to escape. In the meantime, Jack continues to hit the giant from behind, eventually killing him. Almond is blown away by him. Jack continues by telling him that he knows how to get out of this place. The setting shifts to a cloister, where the king asks his generals if they should cut the beanstalk down. The generals also enjoy the. Isabel is blaming herself for everything as Jack heals her wounds. Even if she had not done so, Jack tells her that because he is a nefarious individual, Roderick would have murdered her father and taken over the kingdom. After that, they decide to leave and follow a river to the edge, where they discover a sleeping giant. The giant, who crashes off the beanstalk and lands directly on them, awakes. Almond adds that he needs to care for Roderick and tells Jack and Isabel to leave. After Isabel hugs Almond, he installs Jack as the new guardian and the two of them leave. Thank you. Back on the earth, the king cuts down the beanstalk. After seeing the body of the giant to prevent a giant invasion, prioritizing the earth's safety over Isabel's possible return. The general initially defies the king's directives, telling him that the princess will never return if they cut it down. The general, on the other hand, directs his men to begin the operation to eliminate the entire beanstalk as soon as the king begins using his swords to cut down the beanstalk. During the beanstalk, Jack and Isabel acknowledge their growing feelings for one another. Back in the Goliath universes, Almond assaults. During their battle, Roderick, when he is leading the enormous army, he is killed by him. However, Fallon, as the giant's leader, obtains the crown and assumes the role of new king of the giants. Or else, Almond will be trapped in the giant's realm and forced to flee down the falling beanstalk. As everyone returns home, Jack, Isabel, and Elman all survived the fall after the beanstalk was reduced. Jack warns them that Roderick's beans were used by the giants to create beanstalks for their descent to attack the cloister. Jack, Isabel, and King Bromwell are pursued into the castle by the giants, where Elmont adds oil and lights to the moat. As the siege continues, Fallon enters the throne room from below after falling into the moat. Additionally, control of the drawbridge is at stake for both sides. Jack throws the last bean down Fallon's throat before he can eat it, causing a beanstalk to tear his body apart after Fallon captures Jack and Isabel. Jack takes the crown similarly as the monsters break into the patios. He assumes command over them, sending them back to their domain to chop down the beanstalks. The prohibition that the princess cannot be with a commoner is then lifted by the king. Also, Isabel and Jack marry, and recount the tale of the Goliaths to their youngsters. The magic crown becomes St. Edward's crown over time and is kept in the Tower of London, despite the fact that it is demonstrated that the giant's realm still exists above London today. Turn on notifications. Please subscribe for more videos like this, and like the channel to support it. Thank you very much for watching.